All right, joining us first on the show today, this big Tuesday edition of the Steaks Breakfast Podcast. He's the congressman who represents Oklahoma's 2nd Congressional District, which means we're welcoming back Representative Josh Brecheen. Thanks for coming on the show.
Happy to be with you again.
Always a pleasure, Congressman. Busy week. Happy first 100 days. And that's where I want to start off. One of the big things that President Trump is looking forward to as part of the start of his second administration is going to be the passing of the reconciliation package. When we last talked with you, we had gotten through the budgetary resolution, and now we're heading towards markups. Listen, sounds interesting, but I just want to be able to have you explain to our listenership a little bit about that process and what it might look like in the coming days and weeks moving forward.
Well, there was a group of about 25 of us that 2 weeks ago were really hesitant off of just a verbal commitment because of the really strong bill that we had, or resolution rather, that we had sent over to the Senate with trillions in cuts, and they sent it back with a floor of $4 billion, less than 1% of what we sent over in enforceable cuts. There was a lot of consternation. And so Speaker Johnson worked with a lot of us. He then interceded with Senator Thune. They did a press conference, and the 25 of us that were really willing to stand up and hold this thing up for a day or two took them at their word that we will end up with something that goes after budget neutrality, that we are able to implement all the things that all of us agree on, extending the tax cuts and doing the things that we know it's going to take to secure the border, in terms of the physical barriers, deportation costs. But we also want to pay for it because we know that over a 4-year time period, the loss of purchasing power to buy the same basket of goods, the same family of four went from $1 affording those goods 4 years ago, and now they're only able to get about 80%, 20% loss of purchasing power in just a 4-year time period because we continue to do things in Congress, overspend, and we don't have the revenue to pay for it, and so we continue to eat our debt through inflation. We monetize it.
I do have to admit, though, for as far apart as the House and Senate were on these spendings and the savings, especially billions and compared to trillions over 10 years, I don't think a lot of Americans understand enough how big of a win this was for House Republicans, especially the leadership within the Freedom Caucus, to really push Speaker Johnson to remain on Speaker Thune and say, hey, listen,